Okay, here's part 2 of repairing dual wrap gusset elastics. In part 1 we removed the old ones and now we're going to add the new ones. So to do this you will need jersey needles for your machine. You'll need sewing thread to match the color of your gusset, and you want to make sure that it is polyester and not cotton because the cotton will wick moisture. And then you'll need 5/8 or 3/4 inch fold over elastic. You'll want to find the kind that it has a matte side and then a satin kind of shiny side. Okay, so first you want to measure the length of the gusset that you need. I'll put the numbers in the comments down below. What I like to do is I find the end of it and I measure about 1/2 inch in and I make a small mark. And then I measure the length of the gusset that I want from that mark. And make another little mark. I don't cut it yet because it's easier to sew if it's one continuous piece. So what I want to do is fold the fold over elastic in half. Put it in the machine. And then I'm going to run a couple of stitches just before that first mark towards the end that we made. And we'll take the edge of our gusset, lift the presser foot while the needle is still down, and put the edge of the gusset right in there up against the needle. Fold it over and make sure that the edge of the gusset is as close to the fold in the elastic as you can get it. Make sure you fold it down, try and make sure it lines up pretty nicely. And then I usually run a couple of stitches just to get it settled in the machine. And then I'm going to take your gusset and find the second mark that you made on your elastic and stretch it out towards the end of the gusset while holding the gusset. Fold it over, hold both pieces fairly tightly, and then from the back of the machine hold on to the elastic that was off of the edge of the gusset and then just very carefully sew down close to the edge of the fold over elastic. Now when you get to the end, you just sew right off, cut your threads, and then you can cut off the elastic a little bit off of the gusset, about the same as you had at the other end. And then you can see there's your brand new gusset elastic. Now you'll want to fold this inside, and the next step will be to sew this down to the main part of the diaper and then close up the trim. So after you've got both of your gussets, your new gussets sewn in, you want to take the ends and line them up back the way that they were underneath the elastic, right up next to the main part of the diaper. And then you would like to sew just along here to secure this to the main part of the diaper. Once both ends of your gusset are sewn back to the main part of the diaper, you can just trim this extra little bit of elastic to make it easier to sew down the trim. And then, after that's set, cut any extra long threads that would get in the way. I'm going to hold the gusset or the trim. You want to put your needle down into the fabric about 1/2 inch or a little bit more on the main stitching that you did not open. And then you want to pull your diaper tight, making sure that the trim on the front and the back line up and that it covers the original stitching holes. and then you want to sew straight down as close as you can over the original holes. So when you're sewing, you sew about a 1/2 inch above into the original stitching, all the way across the gusset, and 1/2 inch into the other side of the original stitching, so that it overlaps a little bit and you don't have the trim opening up later on. And that's it. So basically after you finish one, you just do the other 3 and your diaper is done. So here's what your new trim will look like after everything is all sewn back up. You can see a little bit where the double lines of stitching are, and sometimes you can see some of the old stitching holes if you don't go over them exactly when you're sewing it up. You want to just trim all of the extra threads, and that's it. So here it is, your newly repaired diaper. You can see the gussets are now nice and tight. And this diaper is ready to go on another butt for another couple of years.